Strike force moving out. Select warp transport destination.
With 6 LEGO shows in its campaign service, the BLACKTRON SPACE FORCE experimental capital ship, the BSF Ranger, has turned heads following a continuous series of overhauls. Like most LEGO builders, my own creation is never 100% complete. The successful third refit, focusing on modularity, paid off, allowing considerable ease of setup and packup for shows. However, there is always room for improvement. With this update, this was my first attempt to use Modular Integrated Landscape System, also known as MILS. The purpose was to add a little to my presentation. I was inspired by many other BrickTubers channels, particularly Bevan's Bricks. Thank you. My initial use of MILS was to create an asteroid facade, including an LED-powered lava effect on 48 by 48 stud base plates. I decided to experiment further with miniature fog machines routed through tubes through the simulated lava front. Just enough poofs to create a heat effect, but not enough to fog up the entire room. That's for later. One of the unique features of the MILS design was the use of the T3705 Technic Axle 4L through a 3701 Technic brick 1x4 with holes, and secured with the 32064 Technic brick 1x2 with axle hole instead of classic Technic pins. The reason for this is that the pins can be difficult to line up. However, using this technique of the axle brick behind the normal Technic bricks allows for compatibility with other builders. The next step to really distinguish the capital ship was to create the effect of levitation. It also offers the ability to present the details of the ship at eye level. Is better. To achieve the levitation, I turned to the reliable part 3001 brick 2x4 in transparent clear. I had a number of used parts that were discolored, so I attempted to use the hydrogen peroxide diluted solution that had limited effect, but we'll just tuck those towards the back and hope no one notices. Fortunately, LEGO still produces new bricks in the perfect transparent clear. Thus, I was able to use these to make 15 brick tall pillars. The pillar height was determined by the brand new 2-deck midsection of the BSF Ranger. This would be the only section in direct contact with the MILS plate for stability purposes. For now. The BSF Ranger itself has had the following updates. I replaced all the Technic pin connections from all the modules to utilize the 32062 Technic Axle 2L notched, connected to the 32064 Technic brick 1x2 with axle hole like the MILS plates. The idea is that the MILS plates and the ship modules can line up and provide complementary support. Of course, the ship once again got much larger. The total length of the ship now extends over 338 studs, or in other words, 6.5 48 by 48 base plates. That is over 9 feet long. This would give the BSF Ranger an approximate real-world equivalent comparable to a Navy destroyer of the 20th and 21st centuries. The ship also gained 2 additional levels, partly for stability to create the levitation effect, but also to create new powerful sublight thrusters. As a result, the command section is now 8 levels of fully detailed interiors. Additionally, an extended promenade was added where my very first mechanical function was featured. I would like to credit my friend Robert Angel, who created an amazing moon base with a conveyor belt that simulates the moving of LEGO space crew across a tunnel. I decided to use a similar system using chain links and a combination of Technic gears, a gearbox, and one motor to create a scene where we have a BLACKTRON crewman who has tried to sneak his cat on board the ship as a stowaway. The cat, however, has different plans and has escaped the barracks, and here the crew member is trying to catch the cat before it is discovered. In truth, everybody knows about the cat, but they think it's funny he is trying to poorly hide this fact from everyone. The main hangar section was also updated with a folding landing strip that allows for ease of packing into a tote bin for transporting to and from shows. Okay, to summarize all the changes, let's go level for level from the ground up and showcase the entire build. Deck 6 begins at the bow of the ship and features primarily an access causeway which extends throughout the length of the ship. Deck 5 also begins at Section A, the bow of the ship. Deck 4 Section A remains under construction, but this bow area will likely include special weapons control and shield generator control. Deck 6 Section B features the cargo bay with access doors and runs through Section B, the lower hangar level, which I mentioned was extended to accommodate the 6954 Renegade 1 fighter or two 6894 Invader craft. Deck 4 Section B is the upper level to the hangar bay, featuring flight control to monitor launch and recovery of smaller spacecraft, using a parallel landing and tractor technique, as well as an arms room for security. A catwalk allows connection around the upper portion of the extended hangar bay and connects to Section C, resumes the causeway extending through Section D. Deck 5 runs through Section C, the assault module, featuring extended troop barracks, lavatories, and dining facility. Section C's assault module, where we have an armored magazines for the railguns. Deck 8 begins at Module D, the command section. This is enhanced main sensor and navigational array. Deck 7 also begins at Module D command section and is where the water storage and purification systems are located, and access to the sensor control room. Deck 5 Section D, the command section, features a continuing causeway. Section D features the sick bay infirmary. Deck 3 begins at Section D command module and features the captain's quarters. Deck 2, also within Section D command module, featuring midship port and starboard point defense guns, and access corridor leading to the airlock and stairway to the guarded command deck. Deck 1 stands at the highest point of the ship in Section D. I sit there. This is the command deck, featuring the main bridge and conference area, allowing view of the entire length of the hull. In Module E, the engineering section, we have the new large ventral sub-light engine and thruster. Module E's engineering section features the ventral sub-light engine controls, and then E, where the main engineering core resides. Deck 5 Section E features main engineering control and connects to Section E and F engineering and FTL monitoring. Section E engineering module features the dorsal sublight engine control. Section E engineering module features the dorsal sublight engine. Section F links up the lower level of the faster-than-light FTL drive and connects to Section F of the faster-than-light control. Now that I have gone over the updates, it's time for some close featurette passes. my update to Refit 3 of BLACKTRON Capital Ship. If you have not already, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, social media, and affiliated media for all things LEGO BLACKTRON. I am Commander Pablo, thank you for watching, and if you have made it this far, I still can't not promise to make additional updates.